All right, guys, we are streaming on YouTube. Good morning, good morning. So today, you can't quite tell, it's a little bit overcast behind me, so I'm not able to watch the sunrise. But I have something else for us today. I need to do some meal prep for my PKD diet. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm doing that and all the stuff behind it. So welcome to my world. You're inserted into my morning with the kids, with everybody waking up in the morning. So there might be some randos walking in the background, but that's just my family. We love them. And what I'm doing right now is I am taking my measurements. So we got my Keto Mojo for the ketones. And I already had the AccuCheck with a bunch of strips. So I'm going to continue to use these. All right, so let's see what we got. Going. Can you see the drop? Oh, there it is.
Mommy, I didn't listen.
You what?
I didn't listen.
No, I'm eating.
I didn't
Hey, 6.1 on the ketones, 76 on the glucose. All right. So throw these back in. And we are going to do our daily log for our experiment. So let's jump into that. All right, so today, October. Today, I woke up with good energy. I would give it a 10. Yesterday, I had really good energy. Honestly, throughout the day, I did really good. I did my target 350. I did that. Didn't have any liver or bone marrow, which I'm going to change today. I'm due for a lot of liver today, or this week. I'm overdue for that. Let's see, I got 8 hours of sleep. I need to add sleep quality. I need to say, this was probably like a 6 out of 10 because one of our little ones went into the bed last night. So no naps. I did red glasses. I was asleep before 10. And today I woke up 2 minutes before my alarm, right on time. Stretching. All right. We did all of our hydration. I did get my exposure in the evening, which is good, afternoon and evening. I did my affirmations. I've done them this morning. Let's see. I don't know if I did Wim Hof yesterday. Let me double check. You know what's great is I have the Wim Hof app.
Did you pay for it or is it free?
So I'm just doing the free one, just the free one. And I guess they have some stuff that's free for COVID. So no, I didn't do Wim Hof yesterday. I did other breathing exercises. We did like box breathing and other stuff, which I don't think has as much therapeutic stuff. I did my journaling, my meditation, no coffee, no tea. My stress level is probably at 5. Good with depression. No illness, no deep fatigue. All right, so here we go. Now, it took me too long to get to my my meters. They both turned off. 76 and 5.
No.
Beginning.
Okay, let me finish my breakfast and I'll go on the beanbag.
Keto Mojo, just give me my last one. 6.1. Okay, 76 for glucose and 6.1. You're taking 0 insulin. We did have had no pain. Excellent. So I'll put these at 0s. All right, so we are in a really good place. So that's my updates on those experiments. Now let's take a field trip. Okay, guys, we are gonna go into the, am I gonna say this right? Cocina de La Cocina. You're gonna,
what?
How do you say, we're gonna go to the kitchen.
Vamos.
Vamos, we're gonna
A la
vamos a la cocina.
Have you explained why you're doing the PKD?
I have.
Oh.
If you watched my videos, wife, you would know. And so we're also gonna play a little bit of music here. So I just have a little morning playlist, just gonna jam out to in the background. All right.
I might get, if it's on YouTube, that might.
Oh yeah, you're right. You know what? All right, YouTube, no music because of copyrights. It's a good point. YouTube wife. All right, so we are in the kitchen and gonna bring out the 2 spices that I'm allowed to have, which are pepper and salt. And really with meat, like you really just need salt, to be honest. Like you can put all kinds of sauce and rubs and garlic and all that, and I'm sure it tastes great, but I've been completely satisfied, beyond satisfied, like very, very happy with just the right amount of salt. And sometimes if I feel a little different, I maybe want to switch things up. I'll add a little pepper. All right, and so what I laid out a little bit of what we're going to be doing here today. So I'm meal prepping. So I'm going to do, what I've been doing is making my entire day's meal into one batch. So it's 350 grams of food, and then I just eat half of it for the first meal and half of it for the second meal. Okay. And so it just takes a while to do this because you have to like do all the measurements, be real meticulous with it. So I just meal prep it to batch process it. Okay. So what we have here is, can you see that? So I'm kind of set up a little bit here. So we have our, this is our, where we're going to put our food. This thing is key. You need a spatula for wiping out all that extra fat that renders out. Make sure you get all the fat that you calculated and put it into your bowl. I use the scissors to cut the meat to get real precise on the quantities when I'm measuring stuff. This is a real big time saver. I got my liver here. We have some hamburger patties. This is all ground beef. All this is beef. I have some leftover beef heart, and I have some leftover ground beef. Now this ground beef is more pink because this is 50% lean. This is 75% lean. And I have a whole meal calculator that I use in an Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheets to figure this out. And then over here, we have our canoe cut beef bone marrow bones. So this makes it really easy to eat. You just scoop it out with a normal fork or spoon or whatever you want, you don't have to dig in there into the center of the bone. You just scoop it out from the top. I'll show you those a bit more later. All right, and then this is what I'm going to do. I just put it in a small pan. I measure everything out, throw it in there, and then just cook it like I would. And honestly, I'm not too like, I actually have gotten really good at making meat and like steaks and stuff. But since I'm got more meticulous with my quantities, having going through the consultation with the dietitian, I just want to get it right. So how I cook it isn't very sophisticated. I just put it in there. I let it cook for a little bit. I try not to overcook it, and I try. I'm not too worried if it's, medium rare or anything like that. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be cooking. So I'm just going to get to it, and hang out with me and put up comments. If you're going to comment, throw them on the try not to overcook it, and I try throw them up on the YouTube. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the YouTube chat link open once I get my screen set up so I can see what I'm doing. And I'll be talking to you guys. And I think this is the shot, this is the angle we'll take, so you can get a little bit of everything in there. So you're not going to see my my face, but you will be able to see what I'm doing. All right. Actually, yeah, I can see the comments this way too. Yeah, the best of both worlds. How about that? All right. So first, I'm gonna get our bone marrow going. I need to get another pot. So I'm getting the kind of widest pot we have here to put them in. Bless you. And I'm gonna put in a little bit of water into the bottom to get a little bit of steam going. Got a little bit of water for my water bottle here. You don't really need steam. You can just cook it. It's really just these things are frozen. So for me right now, it is just to not have it be frozen. So something I can eat and measure out. So let me get our stove going. So we have a very sophisticated stove that doesn't have a lighter. So we use our own lighters.
Those folks that were in the dryer, are you coming in this way to the left, or you're on the folding right now?
Okay. Trying not to blow up the house. Whew. There we are. All right. So I'm gonna put this on a kind of medium high heat. And I'm gonna since I got my lighter out, I'm gonna put this other guy on. All right. Now, place these guys into the bowl. That. Maximize the number of these you can get in. I get these. This is the best way I've found to do this. Actually, I had a local butcher do this for me, saw them in half. But I actually get these. My local butcher is a prime beef, and so they're not grass fed. So fortunate, but it is what it is. So I go online, do U.S. Wellness Meats and or Grassland Meats. I think they have two names. And you can get this whole bag like this. This is a bag from then. This is a 5-pound bag. It's like expensive. It's like $60, but it's the good stuff. So on the PKD, we need to do 200 grams of the bone marrow per week. Up. Good. So we're just going to keep those up to the point where we can measure them out, get them unfrozen, loosen them up. We don't need to cook them fully like we're going to eat it, because I'm going to measure it out and then throw them into our pan over here, our little pan. Dude, we have ants, and I just cleaned all the ants up, and they're on my pot, so I have to pause and do some cleaning. Oh man, that sucks. These guys are going crazy. Where they're coming from. Getting real aggressive, man. Okay. Now, it just started getting colder in California. And I was talking with Delia, I was wondering if the ants start freaking out as it starts to get colder for their winter, hibernation and trying to keep all their food ready. Because we did notice, as soon as it started to get a little bit colder, that they got more aggressive. Like just coming out a lot more aggressively. I mean, this is pretty bad because I just cleaned all this stuff. So we have this little spray. It's like this nice eco-friendly multi-purpose cleaner, and so it disinfects and it kills the ants. And so I sprayed on these edges so they don't come up into our area. It should be good. Should have done that before I just cleaned it. I didn't prevent these guys from coming up. Okay. So now, clean pot. Ants. We are good. Okay. Ooh, all right, so we got our bone marrow going, and next we're going to do our. So what I need to do for this week is I haven't had a lot of liver, so I'm going to do a liver heavy meal first, and that will be today's meal. Now, you have to be very, 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 very specific, and so very precise with all your measurements. And it is just I made this spreadsheet for calculating everything. So basically, I'm doing 350 grams for my day. So I'm going to make one meal that's all liver for the lean meat and all bone marrow for my fat. So I'm going to be doing 263 grams of liver and 88 grams of fat. See how precise that is? It's crazy. So that's gonna be one of my meals. And I also have some ground beef and some leftover stuff over here that I'm gonna put in. And those are gonna be different. They're gonna be different because the ground beef has both lean meat and fat in it. So the ratios and the quantities of those are gonna be different. But for this video, I'm just gonna do one meal so you can just kind of see how I do it. This is definitely a simpler meal where I have just like a cut of meat that's just mostly lean. So we just count it as lean, which is the liver. And then the other, which is the fat. So it's just, I'm using the bone marrow for the fat. Yeah, so the ground beef it's more complicated. I have a little, like my regular recipes, I have the exact amount of marrow and liver that I need every week. And I split it out evenly over the day. So I get a little bit of vitamins and minerals of all that stuff every day. That's a little more complicated. So I have like I usually have like 4 different things in that recipe. Today, I'm just going to show you the simpler one, which is just 2. Okay. So 263 grams of lean meat. So we're going to get our scale. And we are going to open up these guys over here. Open our liver here. Now this liver is also from Weldon's Meats. Nice little packages. They do drip, so just be aware of that. And I'm going to, let's see, I will weigh it in one of these. Put in the fridge. Let's throw it on there. Tear it up. I don't know how to say it. And then I'm gonna quickly rinse my scissors before I use it on the meat. Check that. I don't think my numbers are right. Custom weight. Does that sound right? Shouldn't it be? Oh yeah, 350. Okay. My 1 digit off, I think, is a rounding in here. So this would be 262. 262 and 88. 262. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 262 in liver here. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, this is a big piece. Can you guys see this? Whoa, look at that. So let's see how much this weighs. It's probably way over. It's not. 228. 228. And we need 262. Okay. All right. So this is, I need about 40 more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. All right, so sometimes mornings are nice and peaceful, and sometimes they're not. 260. Ooh, that was a good. I need 2 more grams here. And that's it for lean meat on this guy. 2 grams about that. Ooh. Wow. All right. So we got that. All right, so this is our lean meat. I'm gonna give you a close up of this. Closer up. All right. So this is the liver. This is all my lean meat for the day, and it's over half of the liver that I need for the week. And I'm definitely behind on my liver based on my liver shipments. So I'll probably do one of these today and probably one tomorrow, but obviously not as much to get my 400 grams for the week. So boom, that looks good. Tar that, and let's check in on our bone marrow. All right. So can you guys can kind of see that, huh? Okay, now I have my laptop on the stove, which is weird for me. I don't want it to fall. There, you guys can see that. Pretty good. Okay. All right. So let's flip this. Yeah, so this looks like it's starting to cook, so it's definitely ready to use in our calculation. So these are good to go. So I'm going to turn this on to low, and we can start scooping some of this stuff out. So scoop this over. Bowl over. So we need 88. Look at that. This thing's all going to come out as one piece. I think it's still a little frozen. This is a really good. Ooh. I wonder how much this is. Oh, look at this. Oh, yeah. Look at this. I'm going to get it as one. It's one little tendon thing in here. Back. Perfect bone marrow. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, one little hitch. Come on. Get out there. There we go. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at this. One, the full bone. You guys see that? Let's see how much this weighs. 49. All right, so I need 88. So we're gonna need at least another one of those. That's it. That was a great one. Let's see what we got here. This looks a little bit more pink. This one looks a little more pink on the edges. See how this comes out. Yeah, a little more stiff. Yeah, we are stiff in there. I'll let that one keep going, see if I got another one that might be more ready to go. This one looks a little bit better. A little bit of that bone mesh stuff. I don't know what that's called. It's a little tight, a little frozen. Yeah, a little chipper. Chip. Okay, that part's that mesh. Okay. There we go. 50 right now. And this puts us at 72. $76. 81. Frozen. 90. Okay. A little bit of this back. 87. Can I get this in half? 88. All right, that's our number, guys. Putting that back. Okay. Now, ready to go into the pot, but with the liver, I'm not that big of a fan of the taste. So what I've been doing is chopping it up into little bitty pieces and mixing it with the ground beef, and that makes it the best. I'm not doing ground beef today. I'm still going to chop it up into little pieces, which just also makes it easier to eat. It's a little bit of a tougher texture. So yeah, I'm just going to throw it in. This thing's hot, ready to go. I'll throw our fat in first, get that going and melted, and then the liver we'll put right on top. Add a little bit of salt. You can hear that guy sizzle. All right. So I'm going to chop it up into the bowl so this thing doesn't splash on me. The fat doesn't splash out. It kind of bubbles and splashes, and it's hot. It'll give you a little, not really burn you, but it's just not pleasant, and it gets the grease everywhere. So we don't want that. So I'm just going to do little kind of bite-sized pieces. This makes it easier to eat, especially when it's cold. You know, I've been eating the leftovers cold. So right now I'm going to eat this meal, half of it right now, and then I put it in the fridge, and all the other stuff that I prep for the next 2 days are going to be in the fridge. And honestly, dude, I don't even warm it up. I just eat it, and it tastes great. I mean, I'm on a diet where I'm kind of hungry, more hungry than the average person. So it's going to taste better, probably. I definitely prefer it to be hot, but it still tastes great cold. And sometimes I'll add a little bit of extra salt on it if I need it. Yeah, just definitely fully satisfied eating it. It's the spot. I feel really good. All right. All right, so our bone marrow's going. It's still, looks like it's cold enough where it's still kind of holding out. It's not all rendered yet, but we have a good amount of rendering in there. Grease moving around in the bottom there. There we go. All right, no comments. Well, I still feel like people are watching, and so for everyone on the replay, I'll feel you with me right now. If you do have questions, I know this is very different for a lot of people out there. Just go ahead and leave a comment. I'm trying to balance my reversing type 1 efforts, all of this stuff that I'm doing, with having a normal life. And I have a job that I'm very passionate about. And so I put a lot of time and energy into that as well. And so, but I'm going to make time for you guys and every commenter. I'm going to I think I'm going to do weekends. I'll catch up on all my comments. Get like a block of time on the weekends and just catch up with all you guys, answer your questions. And I'm not famous enough to get all the crazy hate mail, but I'm sure that'll come at some point. Especially if we figure things out here together, guys. We figure out the cure, man, and we can figure out how to make it repeatable for everybody. It's going to be such a game changer. All right. That was good. And if you're, just in case you're wondering, I have washed my hands. We are clean. All right. Look at my hands, liver. Now, before I was doing this kind of low sophisticated meal that's just about getting the right amount of food, just about survival essentially, I was, taking time to pre-salt my meats and leaving it overnight, which is, by the way, like an amazing pro tip. Everybody out there that makes steaks and stuff, if you put salt on it overnight before you cook it, it will taste amazing. So, and then my pro tips on that are get the coarse salt, the big granules. You don't want the fine salt, and put a healthy amount on, because it's a. What happens is some people say, it's going to take the moisture out, which it actually does, but if you leave it overnight, the moisture will come out and then soak back in, and so the salt takes it out and then it comes back in with the salt, and oh man, that flavor is phenomenal. And then you just got to cook it to the right things. If you're doing a tough cut, just slow cook it for a couple hours. If you're doing more of a steak, sear it on both sides, sear it on all sides to keep those salty juices in there, okay? And trap those guys in there. And then, hold on, we got a big piece here. And then you put it on a low heat. You put it on a low heat after it's all seared. And you use one of those meat thermometers until you get to, 130, 140, depending on your flavor. And oh man, it is the best. There's flavors in there that I didn't even know existed, to be honest. All right, so that was looking good. Ooh, we're crackling. You guys hear that? Wait for this stuff to go in. Okay. Try to do this quickly. Getting it everywhere. Okay, you ready for some sizzle? Here we go. Not as loud as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so I already added some salt. And we're going to add a little bit more salt and pepper on top of that. Honestly, I'm kind of trying to mask. I like to have a good amount of salt on my foods, but I'm trying to mask this liver flavor a little bit. It's going to be only liver today. You can definitely put too much salt on, but for my palate, I enjoy more salt than most people. And the pepper will really help mask that liver flavor that you get. And one thing that I've noticed as an observation, I don't know if it's 100% true because I kind of just noticed this once or twice, is that if you overcook the liver, the longer you cook it, the more of that liver flavor you get that I don't like. So I'm going to try to do this nice and light, keep it quick. All right, now this has a lot of the blood stuff in there. Should all still be very good, but I don't know, I'm debating if I should wash it out or not. So, because it's just the blood from the liver. It's not like bad or anything. And technically, I weighed it out. So this 1 gram of blood is some of my nutrients. And I want all my nutrients. I know a lot of you guys are probably grossed out by this, but there are people in the PKD that eat everything raw. So it's not required. It's not necessarily even encouraged, but some people do it and they prefer it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it. I am going to get those nutrients, And you notice how it's all like around. That's why I use the spatula for eating as well. So I'm going to use a spatula to get this that fat, rendered fat out into here. But also when I'm done with this, I use this to wipe it to get every gram of that out and into my belly. Okay, so let's check in with our, while this cooks, let's check in with our bone marrow. So yeah, these guys are looking good. So I did 2 bones to give me 88. So we'll call that, yeah, this will be about the 200 for the week. So I'm not going to cook any more of these bones. I'll just leave these where they are. Ooh, they look good. What I do need to do is put them away. These bones away, these look good. All right. And we need a container for the fat. Well, I'm actually going to use some of these in a recipe. So I'll just turn, make sure it's a little pink. Yeah, that's fine. All right. I'm just going to turn these off. Okay. Oh, and look at this. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's turning brown. It's browning. So I'm going to flip it. Scooch this guy forward for a little bit. Give me some elbow room. Trying to be real gentle to not splash. There's a lot of fat in here. I don't know if you guys can see all the fat. I need to tilt it to show you, but then it kind of goes to the bottom. There's a lot of fat in there. And you can see the bone marrows are still intact. There's still a lot in there. So with a lot of stuff that can render out if you really cook it at high heat. Which, you know what? I didn't. I had it on low to keep my pan warm. I usually cook it hotter. Usually this is all done by now, which is it's not. So I'm gonna heat up a little bit. It's gonna give it a little more splash on the fat, but we'll cook it a little bit faster. And it's really good when you can actually. I'm probably not gonna do that today, but when you cook it to the point where you get the little crunchy stuff on the outside, you fry it, really essentially fry it, and that's really good. I enjoy the crunch, and you get that crunch, and you add. So you do it on both sides. You get that kind of hardening, and then you add salt, a good amount of salt on that. It's like having fast food. It tastes really good. Okay, I don't know if you can see it because this top is fogging up a little bit, but we got a lot of bubbles going underneath there. And so I think this is just going to be a couple more minutes, and then we're going to be ready to eat. And I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So I'm going to, once this is done, I am going to, we'll stop the video, and I'm going to eat my portion before I continue meal prepping the rest of this stuff. All right, it's looking good. Still see a little bit of pinkish stuff around there, so I'm gonna let it keep going. I'm looking forward to this. All right. So while we're doing it, I'm looking at my ground beef over there. So if I were to do the ground beef, which I'm going to be doing soon. Okay. So the ground beef, this is what would be in the ground beef. I'm going to do 50 grams of liver, 25 grams of the bone marrow, and then I need to get, in addition to that, I need 213 grams of lean meat. And so that means we're going to do, I have already opened that 55% lean. So I'm going to try to get that one. So I need 263. I can't because that is too fatty. I'm going to need more liver. 63, if I were to get 63 grams for that, I have to do 50. Less than 50. Yeah, I made made a little calculator here in my spreadsheet. Oh man, it saves the day. So what's 163? Perfect. So to get the total amount of fat that I need, in addition to the 25 grams of bone marrow, I need 63 grams of fat. So I would need 140 grams of the 55% ground beef, which gives me 77% lean meat and 63% fat, which also means
Count to three. 1, 2.
I need, I don't know what that calculation is, 77 minus 213. I'll have to make a new cell in here to figure that out. And then we will have to add, I'm basically just going to add more liver to that recipe to get that lean meat, the remainder lean meat in there. So it's going to be bone marrow, fat ground beef, and liver in there. And so that's how crazy it gets, because you have to really get the fat in the meat ratios right. Just a little taste of the craziness. Now this is definitely ready. I'm going to turn this heat off because I'm going to stop and eat. And ooh, let's see that. All right, we are having a tantrum. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Some tantrums. Now I see a little bit of pinks in here, but again, I think I'm going to do a little bit of a lighter cook on these to test my theory on the liver taste. Let's see. Still tastes like liver. That's about it, guys. So we then put this into my bowl so I get all my meat chunks in there. Ooh, and the marrow kind of stayed together. That's nice. Then you got to pour all that grease in too. Okay. Pour that. I didn't check my shot, but yeah, it looks like you guys can kind of see that. Key piece here is to use this to get the grease, the last part of this grease out, this rendered fat is coming out of that bone marrow. You get a good amount out if you use that spatula. Okay. All right. So you can see how long it takes to make a meal. This is all the meals for the day. All right. Tastes good. I'm like a caveman over here, getting every ounce I can get out of this. cooking for myself. It's all good. Now let's take a bite. Let's see how it came out. It's good. Still does have that liver flavor. Spicy is good. A little bit more salt. Usually, I'm gonna put in a little more salt no matter what. I definitely try to just undersalt on the actual cook. All right. That is it, guys, for this daily log. That's it for this daily log where we did our meal prep for PKD. You can see the craziness that goes into it, and I hope you can still hear me. Yeah, so this is just part of the day in life of doing that, and I'm gonna go eat while I listen to someone else cry.